Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? Welcome to the weekly weigh-in. I think this is week 28. In week 28 or 29, I'm not really sure. I didn't look before I started filming this video. But anyway, welcome to the weekly weigh-in. I am all dressed to go to the pool because as soon as I finish filming this, I'm going to go to the pool. It is very beautiful outside Indianapolis today, and I was taking Boo Radley outside, and my neighbor next door, she said she was going to the pool, so I was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to film like 1 or 2 videos today, and then I'm going to go to the pool. So I'm really excited to spend the afternoon at the pool, but I wanted to make sure that I got on here and I filmed my weekly weigh-in and my update on my weight loss journey. I don't really have tons to share with you, because last week we were in Las Vegas, Nevada. I actually pre-filmed last Thursday's video because we were leaving on Thursday morning to go to Las Vegas, and so I filmed Thursday's weigh-in on Wednesday of last week. And I went into the vacation, you know, back in the day when I would, you know, try to eat healthy, and I this whole journey, you know, and even before that, I would go on vacation and I would be like super apprehensive about going on vacation because I was like, what am I going to eat? And I don't want to eat this, and I don't want to eat that, and this is going to be bad, and that's going to be bad. And now I've kind of like, I kind of said something about this last week. I went into it like, I'm going to eat what I want to eat, and if I gain some weight, I'll work on it when I get back, but I'm not going to worry about it while I'm on vacation. I'm going to enjoy my vacation. And that's exactly what I did. We actually walked around quite a bit, so I got tons and tons of exercise. I will tell you one thing that happened. So for those of you that are newer to my channels and haven't watched my vlog for a long time, there's kind of an ongoing joke on my vlog because back in the day, when we would go on vacation, I would always get blisters on my feet because I would wear shoes without socks, and then we would walk around a lot, and I would get blisters on my feet. Well, several years ago, when we were in Las Vegas for our anniversary, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, I bought a pair of shoes, bought a pair of like dress mules that don't have a back on them, and so those shoes have like saved me from getting blisters on my feet. Well, on this trip, I was talking about how we had been walking around and Alex had worn these shoes and these like sandals that he bought, and that they were cutting into his feet and he had blisters. And I said, I've learned my lesson. I think it was that night or the very next night, we went to dinner at this place at the Wynn called Delilah's, and afterwards Alex was like, we're really close to the Sphere. Do you want to walk to the Sphere? Well, I had worn these dress shoes, these like soft leather shoes that I bought. They're very, very comfortable. I've worn them in Indianapolis with no socks. I typically wear them with socks. I even brought socks out to Las Vegas, but it was very hot. It was like 95 degrees. And I also did not like how they looked with socks. So I was like, I'm just going to wear these with no socks. I wear them in Indiana all the time with no socks. I thought I was going to be completely fine. So Alex after dinner was like, do you want to walk to the Sphere? Because we hadn't been up close to the Sphere and seen the Sphere in Las Vegas. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this big, huge Sphere where they have concerts and shows and stuff like that. So we decided that we were going to walk to the Sphere, and it was probably about a 15-minute walk, 10 or 15-minute walk from the Wynn. It was very close to the Wynn. We walked there, and when we got done, Alex said, do you want to take an Uber back or do you want to walk? And I said, it's really nice. I said, can you like look up and see how far away it is? And so we looked it up, and from the Sphere back to our hotel, the Cosmopolitan, it was about a 30-minute walk. And I was like, I can do 30 minutes. 30 minutes is great. I walk an hour and a half, you know, most nights and stuff like that. So I didn't even really, to be honest with you, I didn't think about my shoes because my feet were so comfortable. And so we got about halfway back, and I said to Alex, I said, my feet are starting to hurt. In fact, we were walking by like all these, you know, CVS, 7-Eleven, things like that. And I was like, I almost went inside and got a pair of flip-flops and was just going to carry my shoes because I was like, I have a feeling that at some point, these are going to start cutting into my feet. And they were hurting a little bit, but I was like, they can't really be that bad because it didn't hurt like back in the day when I would get blisters on my feet. They would hurt really, really bad. And they would be brand new shoes, and they would like cut into my feet. One of the other things is, and I know this is going to sound strange, but these are little things about when you are heavier that you don't really think about. Since I've lost weight, my shoes fit me differently. I think my feet were more swollen back in the day and stuff like that. And so my feet fit differently. Shoes, I know that sounds so strange, but I don't know if there's anybody out there that relates to that. But and hats, the same thing. I think I said something about that in a video about, I did a video about my hats on this channel, and so I was talking about that. But a lot of my shoes fit differently. So shoes that back in the day would give me blisters, today they don't give me blisters at all because they're loose on my feet. So I was like, I think I'm gonna be completely fine. But about halfway through the walk, my feet started to hurt a little bit. And I was like, they were just tight in the back. And so I like stopped and I loosened them. And I thought, okay, these are gonna be fine. About 5 minutes later, I was like, I'm gonna have blisters on my feet. I just knew it. And that was when I was kind of like looking for a place to stop and get some flip-flops. Because I was like, okay, I can just buy a $10 pair of flip-flops and wear those back, you know, that say Las Vegas on them or something. And then I can like carry my shoes. And so Alex and I were like looking for a place. There was no place. And by that point, we could see the hotel because the hotel was like, you know, we could see it down the strip. The problem with Las Vegas is when you can see something, it's still about 5 miles away. So I walked all the way back. I was like, as soon as I get back, I'm going to go up to the room and I'm going to, you know, take my shoes off and I'll be completely fine. When I took my feet off, when I took my shoes off that night, the backs of my feet were red, but they didn't look really like that blistered. When I woke up the next day, I was completely floored. Like, right now, and I would show them to you, but it's so disgusting that I'm not going to show that on video. They're literally like cut scabs in the back of my ankle or back of my my feet. They look like cut scabs, like somebody took a knife to the back of my feet on both of my feet. So when I got back, my plan was to start walking as soon as I got back, like an hour and a half every single night. And I was trying to figure out, how am I going to do it? Because, you know, I wear a lot of Birkenstocks and I wear a lot of sandals. So with sandals, it doesn't hit that. It doesn't hurt. Obviously, I've been having bandages on this. And so I thought, well, if I put a pair of thick socks or 2 pairs of socks over it and I walk, then maybe that'll be better. I tried that and I just made it down to like the pool and I couldn't go any further than that. Last night, I like put 2 bandages on and I walked with, I think now because they're healing, it's like starting to pull. Like whenever I walk, no matter if I'm walking in shoes or not, it's starting to pull. Because last night I wore a pair of clogs and it was like, I got like 25 minutes, 20 minutes into the walk and I was like, I've got to go back. Like it's pulling, it's like really, really hurting my foot. So I don't know what I'm going to do as far as walking until these blisters are healed, but I did it to myself. So the exercise has kind of been non-existent except for when we were in Vegas walking around. I will say this, I didn't do horrible on this trip as far as eating. Like, one of the things I did going on this trip was, unless I was hungry, I didn't eat. So, like, when we were at the pool and stuff like that, like, Alex would order chicken fingers, and we would get, like, guac and salsa and stuff like that. But, like, I would just eat, like, as much until I was full. I mean, this has really helped me a lot, and I know this is so silly. It's, like, probably something that most people do, but it's something that I don't think this way. I eat until, like, I, like, kind of, like, binge eat. And so, I eat until I'm past being full. One of the things I've learned the last couple months is when I'm full, stop eating. And so that's what I did on this trip as well. And there was just one night that I took food back to the room. It was our last night, it was our anniversary, and I got a vegetarian pizza. It was like a deep dish pizza at this place that we went to, this restaurant called Super Frico in the Cosmopolitan. And I ate 2 pieces, it was like 4 pieces, like little square pieces. And I ate 2 pieces at the restaurant because I was full, and I brought the other 2 back. And I ate like one of them later that night, like half of one of them later that night. So that's really helped me, I think, a lot, is that when I'm full, I stop eating. That's not something and I know that might sound strange to a lot of people. If you relate to my binge eating, please comment in the comment section below. But like back in the day, that's not what I would do. I would, like, as long as I love to eat food. I love the taste of food. So if it was sitting in front of me, I would continue to eat it. I mean, I can remember like Alex, my friend Tanya, and people saying things to me like, you eat to the point where you're uncomfortable. And I would do that all the time. So that's one really great lesson I've learned through all this. I will say, even though I haven't walked this week, we walked a lot in Las Vegas, and I didn't eat horribly, and I haven't eaten horribly since I got back. And so I thought, well, I'll probably have lost like 2 pounds or something like that. Sometimes when we go on vacation, I lose some weight. That was not the case. I actually gained weight this week. So last week, I weighed in last Wednesday at 206.1, and today I weighed in at 208.5. So I've gained 2.4 pounds. I'm not too stressed out about it, honestly. One of the things that's interesting, and I don't know if it's like my body is settling or something, but on my vlog recently, I've had several people that will say, like, I can I can tell a difference, like in the muscle structure in your shoulders or like in your neck or whatever. I can tell that you've lost weight. And I'm starting to kind of be able to tell, like when I look in the mirror, I can see it in certain areas, especially in my chest. I can see it. My chest is an area that I'm like really, really self-conscious of. And I'm really starting to notice, like, I don't know if it's from being more active or walking or whatever, but I'm really starting to notice that my body is looking different. It's looking, to me, it looks better. And so that makes me really, really happy. The fact that, I mean, it's not, I wouldn't say it's an overwhelming amount of comments, but it's a few comments here and there that people have left me. And so I'm like, okay, this is really great. Like, I love this, that people are, you know, saying these things. It's really nice if other people are noticing it, you know? And so, so that feels good. You know, my plan going into this week is every night I'm going to continue to try to walk, like, somehow. I'm going to, even if, you know, I feel like 5 or 10 minutes is better than no minutes. That's how I look at it, right? And so, you know, I have a feeling that one of these days, because this is what will happen to me. I know myself well enough that if I sit here and I just say, I have to wait for these blisters to heal, it'll be 2 to 3 weeks. I'll just wait. If every single day I keep on trying to do it, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, then that will give me, you know, incentive to try. If I go out there one night and I'm like, oh yeah, I can keep on walking, it doesn't hurt at all, like they're healing, then I'll keep on walking. Other ways I'm trying to be active, obviously, is like going to the pool. I'm going to the pool here in a second, try to be active and do things like that. And I might try to lift some weights this week and stuff like that. Now, I do have my doctor's appointment. I keep on trying to update this in every episode of this weight loss journey. I think it's in 2 weeks. I have my doctor's appointment, and that's the tail end of that goes into my nutritionist dietitian appointment. And then I also that same week have my meeting with the personal trainer to kind of give me like some suggestions on, like, you know, weight training at home, exercises that I can do at home and things like that other than just walking. Also talking about the like walking versus running and things like that. I've actually talked to him a little bit about that already, and he seems to think for me that walking might be better, you know, until like I'm ready to like fully run if I want to do that. But he's like, no, walking is a great exercise. He was like, you know, I think walking gets a bad rap because people think if you're running and you're getting more exercise. He goes, but it's really about keeping your heart rate up at a certain rate for a longer period of time, because you're walking for like an hour and a half at a pretty fast pace, keeping your rate up. So, so some of the things I want to talk to him about are like, you know, just like the weight training at home and things like that. So, and going into fall and winter, like things I can do when I can't go outside as much if it's snowing or whatever. So I'm excited about that. Like I said in previous videos, I don't really know why. I'm not super, super excited about the dietitian, nutritionist part, just because I feel like what that will help with is the things that I already know how to eat, but I just choose not to do those things. And I'm fully aware of that there are a lot of things that I could be eating in place of this, or things I could be doing differently, and I just choose not to do that. I'm fully aware of that. So I don't know that that's necessarily like a dietitian nutritionist part, or if that's more of like a therapeutic part of things I'm talking about with my therapist, where it's more about like my, you know, food issues and my, you know, food addiction and things like that. So I think it kind of like all merges together. But I'm like, I went on this trip and I ate good every single night, you know, and I gained some weight when I came back, but it wasn't like I gained like 5 or 10 pounds. I have gone on vacations before and come back 5 or 7 pounds heavier. So, it is what it is. And, yeah, so I'm back. So I'm hoping that next week, I'll give you guys an update on the walking and things like that. But hopefully next week we will be back on the downward trend of losing weight, and I will be making better, you know, food choices because I won't be in Las Vegas and stuff like that. There were like a couple more. We have no trips planned right now until March of next year when we go to Ultra Music Festival. We have literally no trips planned. And so, in all honesty, we like got back from this trip and I was kind of sad. Like we were planning on going to visit my brother and sister-in-law in San Diego, and that's kind of been like pushed to the back burner for a little while. And so, because that's actually the week that we were going to go, was the week that I have a lot of stuff going on. And so, we have no trips planned. And so I'm kind of like settling into, okay, like the next couple months is going to be just me like working really, really hard on my body and working hard, you know, working out, walking, things like that. And I'm actually looking forward to that. I'm excited about that. So anyway, that's where we're at for the week. You know, it's interesting. I think 3 or 4 months ago, going on a trip like this, coming back and having gained some weight, I would have beat myself up. I think that's the difference. Like, I saw somebody online say something about they really hate, it was funny how they said it, I can't remember. They said, I hate the word journey or something like that. And I do agree it's kind of a corny word, it's overused and things like that. But I will tell you why I like it for what I'm doing over here, okay? Is that, for me, it continues to just kind of like make it concrete for me that this is not like, it's not a goal that I'm trying to reach, and once I reach that goal, I can stop. It's like this lifelong journey that I'm on, and so I like that word for this, because what it kind of keeps on reminding me is there's no end to this. Like, this is something that I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life, and so if I don't meet my goals this week, then maybe next week, maybe 3 weeks from now, maybe 3 months from now, you know, but like, just to continue to stay on it. And I don't foreseeably see myself stopping doing these videos on here, you know? I mean, I see myself continuing to do these long after I've reached my goal, and then, you know, talking about like how I'm maintaining it and new foods I'm learning and things like that. So I don't see myself stopping this. This has been really, really helpful for me so far. I think that mindset, that change has really, really helped me a lot. I think I could have looked at it in a different way and been like, well, you're giving yourself the rest of your life, so if you gain 30 pounds, you have the rest of your life to lose 30 pounds. But that's not really how I see it. I see it that I'm like walking, like when I talk about journey, the way I visualize it is I'm like walking down this road, and in the distance I see like this mountain like in the desert, right? And like that mountain is all the goals that I want to achieve, and I'm getting there eventually inch by inch, and I'm walking towards that, and I'm learning things as I'm walking towards that mountain, that when I get to that mountain and I've reached those goals, that then I'll be like, oh wow, like I've learned a lot of things along the way. It really was never about getting to the mountain. It was really about all the things I learned along the way, right? And that's kind of how I look at this. And so that's been really, really helpful to me. Because like I said, I think 3 or 4 months ago, had I gone on vacation and I come back and gained a bunch of weight, I think I would have been like pissed. I would have been like, okay, this isn't worth it. I'm giving it up. I don't care. And my attitude's so completely different about it. So anyway, that's where I'm at for this week. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. How are you guys doing? If you're doing the journey with me, let me know in the comment section below. I will say that a lot of you guys sharing your stories of what you've done, what's worked for you, what's helped for you, things like that. Specifically when it's not like, well, I'm doing this diet or I'm doing that diet. I mean, I think that might be helpful for other people, so feel free to leave those comments. I don't like, those comments aren't super helpful for me, but what I will tell you is, when people say things like, I have been doing this for 6 months or a year, and I've lost this amount of weight, and I feel better, and I'm sleeping better, and you just gotta stick with it, Peter, and this is like, you know, even when I got down, and like, they share more of like their mental attitude about how they approached it. Like, that's really, really helpful to me, and I read those comments, and it kind of like reinvigorates me. So I just want to say thank you guys for being so supportive. Thank you for sharing your own stories. I know it's not always comfortable to share your stories in a comment section. Feel free to DM me if you want me to, and share with me. A couple of you already have things that were helpful to you that you want to pass on to me, and I really appreciate it. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.